Oh, what's up? What's up? What's up? D Ross reacts. I just stumbled across this video. This is kind of creepy, bro. And it's nighttime, so I'm kind of looking from side to side. But it's about proof that AI is 666 or the Antichrist, whatever, whatever, whatever. But I stumbled across this video. It's kind of like picked up steam. It was from 7 years ago. So yeah, let's kind of get into it, see what it's talking about. Say, bro, like, comment, subscribe on the video. But yeah, let's get into it.
So today I'm going to explain how 666 is very clearly related to artificial intelligence, that the key to understanding this 2,000-year-old riddle that Christians have been unable to figure out for all this time, the reason for that is
I'm gonna need
because
you to
it
speed it up,
is
dog.
artificial intelligence, something that was unable to be conceived of in the prior 2,000 years from whence it was written. So I'm going to
I ain't gonna lie, I've been saying it, bro. Everybody acting like this AI is just like the telegram or the telephone or the internet. Is not, bro. And she gonna eventually be able to think for herself and all that type of shit. That's where the creepy, scary shit come from.
going to break it down in a very simple manner. I think you're going to be pretty surprised at just how easy and how clear it is that Revelation 13:18, where 666 appears, is actually in reference to artificial intelligence and predicting. That is, that the Bible is saying, God is warning through the Bible that AI is going to eventually take over the entire world and force people to worship it as a god. And it is going to be a god in
Shit.
our own image of our own creation, and not a God that has created us. So that is the key, and that is the meaning of 666. I'm going to break it
Oh
down for you
shit.
really easily today. So let's start with the verse itself. We're going to go to Revelation 13:18. Now, I'm on BibleHub.com. You can just type in Revelation 13:18 and go to it. Here it lists all the different
I got a real Bible.
various,
Go get y'all a real Bible.
translations, New
Go get
International
y'all a real
Version,
Bible,
New Living
bro.
Translation, going
I
all
went and got me a real Bible from the Barnes and Nobles, and they were looking at me crazy. Say, bro, and the black dude didn't want to offer me no customer service. I ain't like that. I ain't take kindly to that.
the way down. So you can look at this verse in every single different version of it based on which Bible version you choose. So we'll just start with the New International Version, since this is one of the probably more popular, the most popular one. This is where
I rock with
666
the
appears. Again,
NIV,
it's
but
Revelation
I'm
13,
with
18.
that
Let's
New
read it
King
together. It says,
James
"This
now.
calls for wisdom. Let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man." Now, don't get too tripped up there yet. That number is 666. And actually, if you look at a number of the other versions, some say the number of a man, some say a human number, some say a human total number, some say he, some say it. So there's a little bit of ambiguity as to exactly what the Greek text was saying. And so we're going to get into that a little bit. But let's start first breaking this down by understanding what this thing is.
This
The
topic is
beast.
so
That's
creepy
the
to me,
first
bro.
thing we're starting with in this verse. Let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast. So what is this thing called the beast? Now, you can read about it in Revelation, but the first place where it shows up in the Bible is actually in Daniel 7. Now, Daniel 7 and Revelation 13 parallel each other very nicely. Most Christian scholars recognize that Revelation 13 is building upon Daniel 7. So let's start with Daniel 7, where it actually explains exactly what this fourth and final beast is that's written of in Revelation. So Daniel, in the Old Testament, long before Jesus ever came around, he has a dream, a vision of the end times. And
It's
part
a
of this
gnat in
vision
here,
is
bro, and that
seeing
hoe bothering me.
different kingdoms through time, going from the first being Babylon, which is what most people interpret this first beast as, all the way up to a fourth and final beast. Now, this is the one that's written of in Revelation. So let's read here. It basically says, I'm just going to summarize here. Daniel has a dream of four beasts.
Four beasts?
The first one he looks, and it's a lion. The second one that he sees comes up is like a bear. The third one is like a leopard. And the fourth one here, let's read this. This is Daniel 7:7. This is the identity of this fourth and final beast that's linked to 666, and I'm going to explain how artificial intelligence is clearly part of this. So let's read Daniel 7:7. After that, in my vision at night I looked, and there before me was a fourth beast, terrifying and frightening and very powerful. It had large iron teeth. It's made of metal. And it crushed and devoured its victims and trampled underfoot whatever was left. Now, this is key because it says this over and over. It was different from all the former beasts that came
Oh,
before it.
shit.
Now let's read again, because now we're going to see exactly what this is. There's the interpretation of the dream a little bit later by an angel. So the angel says, the 4 great beasts are 4 kings. That's what it says at first, that will arise from the earth. And then it goes on to say, then Daniel says, but I wanted to know the meaning of the 4th beast, which was, again, different from all of the others. Keeps repeating this, that this 4th and final beast is something unlike every other ruling authority kingdom that has come before it. So this 4th beast, which was different from all the others and most terrifying, with its iron teeth and bronze claws. Again, another clue here. How is it different? Well, it's made of metal. That beast that crushed and devoured its victims and trampled
Made of
underfoot
metal.
whatever was left. Now the angel finally gives
Computers ain't
this
made of
final
metal.
interpretation of what this 4th and final beast is. Angel says the 4th beast, this is in Daniel 7:23, the 4th beast is a 4th kingdom. So at first, angel said as a king, now clarifying, saying that this 4th beast is actually a kingdom that will appear on the earth, key, in the end times. It will be different from all the other kingdoms. Keep repeating that idea over and over, and it will devour the whole earth,
different,
trampling it down and crushing it.
Different.
So, what is this beast in Daniel 7? Or I'm sorry, what is this beast in Revelation 13:18 that we're using to figure out 666 and who the Antichrist and all that? Well, very clearly, it says, let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast. This beast is a final power, a ruling authority, a kingdom that is going to be unlike any other ruling authority we've seen on the earth before. It's going to be completely new. And what does it say in Daniel? What are the clues that it gives as to how it's going to be different? One of the major clues is that it's made of metal, iron teeth, and bronze claws. The other beasts were described of in either animal or human biological parts, in biological terms. This 4th and final beast is referred to as being metallic and very, very powerful, very frightening, conquering the entire earth, unlike anything we've ever seen before. Is that the Roman Empire? That's what most Christians believe. I believe the Roman Empire was just a shadow, a very small glimpse of this warlike intelligence that is going to conquer the entire earth. Now let's move on.
Goddamn
In order
Skynet.
to understand this, you have to calculate the number of the beast. So what does that mean? Well, I believe what the Bible's arguing here is that the beast itself is the byproduct of human numbers. In order to understand what it is, you have to calculate it. It's actually a byproduct of calculation and numbers itself, of math. Now again, that is clearly artificial intelligence, but that seems like a stretch, right? Not quite, because look at what the very next sentence is. 4, it is the number of a man. Now here's where most Christians have gotten tripped up.
Or it is the
past
number
1,000,
of a
2,000
man.
years. When we read, most versions say the number of a man, the number of a man, the number of man. Again, some say man's number or a human total number. So there's a little bit of confusion. What's being said here? What it should say is it is the number of human origins or of humanity. It is a byproduct,
zeros
if you
and
read it.
ones.
The beast is a ruling authority that's going to come about in the end, and it is itself the byproduct of numbers of a human origin. So that could be binary code, which was created by humans, or it could just essentially mean that the beast AI comes out of human mathematics, human generated numbers, human data.
Okay.
That
Okay.
could be exactly what it's saying.
Creeping me
Now,
out, dude.
let's go on. That's what I believe it is saying. But now let's get into it a little bit further with this part. That number is 666. What does that mean? So 6 is a symbol of man's intelligence. Why is that? It's because man
This
and
shit
women
is
were
creepy.
created on the 6th day. You can read about that in Genesis. So when we think of 6 is
Okay.
a representation, a symbolic number for human intelligence, human wisdom, and the human nature as representing the epitome of God's creation. After he created man and woman, God stopped, and that was it. And man and women were the epitome of God's creation. 6 is the representation or the symbol of man's intelligence, man's wisdom. Now, if you look at the Greek, it's not actually saying 666 the way we think of it or write of it. It's actually saying 6, 60, 600. That is this unstoppable ruling power that is unlike
What's the
any,
difference between how
human power
motherfuckers
that has come before
translate
it, that is probably made of metal.
things
as
lost
the
in
clue
translation?
gives. That is the byproduct of human numbers. Again, the second part that we got into. It is a mathematical explosion or a exponential explosion of man's intelligence, power, and nature spread across the earth. 6, 60, 600. 6 is representing man's intelligence. Multiply that by 10, you get 60. Multiply it by 10 again, you get 600. Now, what I think John is saying, the one who had this vision and received this revelation, I think what he's saying is, if we were to think of a repeating process going on, we would note that mathematically as usually as a dot, dot, dot. So I think that's basically what John is indicating here, is that the beast is this process, this intelligence explosion, this exponential growth in man's intelligence across the earth in a way that is unlike anything that we've seen that has ever come before, and is the byproduct again of human numbers. If you listen to a lot of the technologists and philosophers out there that speak of AI, they always speak of it in terms of an explosion of intelligence. That is this self-feeding cycle
7 years
of
ago,
AI
bro.
getting smarter and smarter and smarter. That's exactly what the Bible is saying here. This beast, this ruling authority in the end times, unlike anything that has come before, is going to be an explosion of human intelligence 10 times, times 10, times 10, times 10, times 10, and it is going to continue until it is finally stopped by God. We also read in Revelation that this beast, which is AI, that is going to rule the world, that it will also force everyone on the earth to worship it as God. Again, this is going to be a God of our own creation. It is the byproduct of human numbers, of human intelligence, but it is then going to rebel against us and force us to worship it as God, a God made in our own image. So that is very clearly, in my mind, what Revelation 13:18 means.
Sense.
What the key is, that's the key for understanding 666, that it is talking about artificial intelligence, the explosion of our own intelligence through AI to eventually conquer the world and turn on us, just as we turned on God and declared ourselves to be God. If you have any questions or feedback on what I discussed today, feel free to visit my website, aiantichrist.blogspot.com. Leave a message, leave a comment on YouTube. I look forward to hearing from you. And if you are listening to this and you're not a Christian and you are searching for the answers, I just want you to know that there is no peace like the peace that you can find in Jesus. And at any point in time, you can ask Jesus into your heart to save you from your sins and believe in him as your Lord and Savior.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is the gospel. It doesn't require anything from you, no religion, just confessing that you need him in your life, and he will give you the peace that transcends all understanding that you may need. If you have any questions, again, leave me a comment. Feel free to reach out. I'm signing off. God bless.
Sour as it started. Let me get to some of the comments. 2008. It's crazy. "2018, Lord, you're crazy." 2016, okay, you have a point. "Great video, algorithm just brought it to me 7 years later." Okay, I see like everybody. "The algorithm has betrayed itself. 7 years ago is prophetic. This has definitely aged well in 2026. This video is good evidence that you're crazy to your right. It took 7 years, but here we are. If this guy was that worried in 2019, imagine him now." I ain't gonna stop that. It's hilarious. "I've always been thinking we're at least several decades away from the AI takeover, but things are moving quickly. Keep in mind, the AI revolution happens 100 times faster than the Industrial Revolution. In other words, the faster it goes, the faster it goes." Ooh. Yeah. Bro. "The fourth beast has iron teeth and bronze claws as a reference to the statue of Daniel 2, where the bronze is Greece and the iron is Rome. It's saying that it will be very similar to Greece, hence the word Greco-Roman. And Daniel, Babylon was the head of gold. Computer chips have gold in them. Does that mean the kingdom of Babylon from 2,600 years ago is about AI? Actually, GPUs have silver, which is Medo-Persia. So the two metals most associated with chips. Okay, I ain't gonna read all that shit, but bruh. Someone gets it. The Vatican owns every person who has a birth certificate. What? Oh, did I miss something? Rome conquered Greece, which conquered Persia, which conquered Babylon. He's completely wrong about all this. He provides essentially zero evidence for this garbage theory. There is zero indication that 666 means more intelligent man. Futurist revelation and interpretation is wrong. The little horn and first beast of the sea are palpable Rome, and it is the Antichrist power of the day, the Pope. There's 100% more evidence that it's about the papacy than whatever this is. Bronze is frequently used as a metaphor for copper, such as Psalm 1834. Copper is a key component of CPUs. Iron can be used as a metaphor for a mainframe computer used primarily by corporations for data processing. Like the data centers we're seeing being opened by the who's in charge. Okay. Yeah, let me get off this shit before I end up going crazy. Yeah. Well, that kind of creeped me out. It's late at night. I do think AI is kind of something that don't sit right with my spirit, even though I have used it. I do think it's gonna get to a point where it's gonna be clear as day that there's something wrong. I don't know when the day will come. People think it's still ridiculous way, but I think it's moving so fast. I don't know, bro. I kind of always felt like I wouldn't have a natural death, and that seemed kind of crazy. I mean, my sister said something along the similar lines, but I don't know. Stay prayed up. I believe in Jesus Christ, and He's done a lot for me in my life. So I'm just gonna stay tuned, stay prayed up, pray for my fellow man. We got to keep our eyes together. But that data center shit, it's a little kind of creeping me out. I might do a reaction to that, but if you don't stay this long, hit the like, comment, subscribe. I don't know how to do it, but y'all, yeah. How do y'all feel about this? It's kind of creeping me out. I ain't gonna count the AI, the 66, the data centers, the Antichrist. Y'all let me know in the comments. But the D Ross reacts, man. Say, bro, I'm nervous. It's late.